female peppers. It'll be no surprise to any of you that know me well that I'm recommending books as my first product recommendation. I love them, but one of the things I really love about them in this space is they're not electronic, so they don't run out of batteries, they don't rely on the internet in case you need to download them again. You can throw them in your bag, keep them in your bag in case you have to go. So these are my top 4 for now recommendations in no particular order. I found this one, my first recommendation, the SAS Survival Guide, in my favourite eclectic bookshop, which is any airport bookshop. They all have the most interesting and divergent varieties of books. This one is, believe it or not, 400 pages. Not huge for those of us who've got little eyes, but has sections that include essentials, which are survival kits, pouches, knives, water, salt, and a survival log, climate and terrain, food, campfire, reading the signs, on the move in case you've got to move and mark out a route, surviving at sea if you're caught in a disaster at sea, how to get rescued, a basic section on health and what to do with people. Well, that's, I say basic, it's probably, I don't know, nearly 100 pages. Strategies in a disaster for drought, fire, flood, tsunami, avalanche, hurricane, tornado, lightning, earthquake, volcanoes and vehicles, all of which I guess except for perhaps volcanoes apply to Australia. It's got some great little tips about what you can and can't eat in the bush. Not sure if it's 100% rated for Australia, but it was pretty cheap at the airport, so I imagine it's cheaper on the link you get down below. But it's a great little read, and again, handy size, as you can see, compared to my hand, which isn't very big. Handy size for a book to put in your go bag, and its book jacket says, "The book that could save your life." And I actually think, having read it, it's probably not an unjust statement. The next one on my list is the No Grid Survival Projects. Now, this is for people who have got a bug-out location or just a place that they go to that they want to be self-sustainable. Covers a wide variety of topics. Again, 300 pages, so not a small book, but it's broken down into sections and gives you the projects that you need. It includes projects related to water, projects for guns and ammo, not necessarily a huge thing in Australia, but for our community members overseas, that's probably a good section for you guys. Project related to electricity, and in keeping intruders off your property. Herbs, natural disaster planning. It's a really cool little book that, yeah, the font again is not huge, but it's not bad. And the dust jacket reads 70 ingenious projects that could build yourself and around your house, list of the materials you need, step-by-step guide for instructions, where to source what you need. Obviously that'll be different depending on where you live, and the cost and the difficulty level, because some of this stuff you might need to work up to. And it says you'll find projects on water, guns and ammo, electricity and ways to keep intruders off your property, food, traps, natural remedies and more. Good value for money. Now, ironically, probably my favourite book for preparedness isn't a preparedness book. I've had it a long time. In fact, I've had it since we were sitting around at work when The Walking Dead come out, making a plan of what we would do if the zombie apocalypse came. However, it is the #1 book in my go bag, because if I have to leave, I'm taking it with me, and I also use it here at home. So it's called The Complete Book of Vegetables, Herbs and Fruits. And it is the most comprehensive book on what to grow, when to grow, how to grow it, what to grow it with and what you can use stuff for. It also gives you complementary planting, so you know what to plant with it to make it grow better, medicinal uses if there are any, and warnings, like this warning on Florentine fennel. Do not take excessive doses of this oil, nor should you give it to a pregnant woman. So as I said, it is so comprehensive. Now it is heavy for your go bag, I must admit. It's a big book. It probably weighs, I don't know, 2 kilos. But if you were going to establish a home somewhere other than where you are, 623 pages of dead set value, if, especially like me, if you're not the greatest gardener in the world, but you need to maximise what you're growing and how you're growing it, it's the book. I call it my veggie gardening Bible, and I wouldn't leave without it. Another book I wanted to review was actually sent to me after someone had seen my Facebook page. It's called A Gentlewoman's Guide to Calm in a Natural Disaster by Sue Cronin. Now, being sent an unsolicited book is great as far as I'm concerned, as I'm a bookaholic. But it's a really interesting, Sue and I work in a similar field. She's a nurse, like me, not on the right side of 50, as some might say. She lives by herself, she's got animals to look after, and she was caught up in the Lismore floods. So she wrote this book in response to how to prepare if you're a single, older woman with pets who's got medical needs, who needs to be able to get out in a hurry, but needs to be able to do it by herself with one bag. So it's a great read. It's got some good insights, some good check sheets in it. Hopefully I'm going to get her onto the channel and we're going to have a chat about it, because I think it'd be a really interesting interview for everyone and for me to be my first interview. Well, female preppers, that's a wrap for today on my product recommendations. I hope you enjoyed the information. As we know, knowledge is power. Without it, we won't survive, and we want to thrive to survive. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Just remember, I do get a small commission if you buy it, and that helps monetize this channel. Have a great day.